Alright, what's going on, y'all? In this video, I want to talk about why being self-aware makes every interaction hit different. Okay, so the other day, me and my son went to the skate park, and we've been doing this a lot lately. We went right after school, so there's not too many people there. The weather was awesome, wasn't too hot. And when we got there, man, so the skate park has like 3 different sections to it. It's got like kind of like, with the rails and I don't know what you would call it, more of a street looking section. I don't know if that's a technical term. Then there's 2 other sections. So we were walking to the skate park and we look off to the distance in that 3rd section, which is like a very advanced level. We just see this dude just kind of fall. He just kind of went out of the screen a little bit. I'm like, I go to my son like, yo, did you see old boy fall over there? He's like, yeah, I seen him. And so we kind of get situated where we're at. And a couple minutes later, the dude that we saw fall, he comes to like our section. He's skating. And he's kind of like, he's still kind of like, damn. And I'm like, damn, bro, you good over there, man? He's like, yeah, man, I kind of rolled out of it, man, but yeah, still got me. I was like, all right, man, hope you feel better, bro. Like whatever you did. He's like, yeah, man. He's like these trucks, and he starts telling me something about his skateboard or something. And then we start making small talk, right? And my son is over there kind of doing this thing, and then I'm asking this guy a question about just skateboards in general. He's kind of telling me. I'm not even really asking. He's kind of just giving me information about the wheels he uses, his board. He's kind of starting to engage with my son too, and he's got a good energy about him. It didn't take that long to really feel it either. And so we're just making small talk. He's giving me advice, giving me tips. I'm kind of Googling certain things that I may look up later as far as certain wheels to put on my son's skateboard. And so eventually he gets to a point where he's like showing my son how to do certain tricks and stuff, right? And my son is fascinated. I'm fascinated too. And I'm telling him, I'm like, man, I've always been fascinated by skateboarding. Like since I was a kid, I've always enjoyed getting on a board, trying to learn how to do things. I never could really do anything on it, but I always had an appreciation about the discipline and the dedication and just the mental game that comes with learning how to use a skateboard. And I'm telling him that I'm like, bro, skateboard. It's underrated, bro. How difficult these are. He's like, man, that's an interesting perspective, like for you to say that. And I ain't gonna lie, I love when people say that. If I say something and you say that's an interesting perspective, I love to hear that. I just know that the conversation is gonna get like a little bit deeper, and I know that uh, it makes somebody think a different way just in that moment. He was like, man, that's a really interesting perspective. I never realized like how far I've come, like on this board and stuff. And I was like, yeah, bro. I was like, bro, it's a conversation piece. Being able to skateboard. Like, I'm sure girls love it. You know what I mean? It's like a great hobby, keeps you in shape. I'm saying all these things. And so we're starting to connect. And he's also like showing my son these tricks and stuff and trying to teach him how to ollie, showing him little things to like, develop his repetitions so that he can learn how to do this. Right. And so the conversation is even getting deeper. Like I found out that it was his birthday today. It was his birthday that day. He turned 24. And he was telling me about this job that he had just quit. He was a manager of a welding spot, right? And he was telling me how it was giving him gray hairs, and he was so happy that he got fired from there. But he was telling me how he was so happy that he was free from it. And he's sitting down on his board at this point. He's not doing tricks right now, but he's like sitting down having a conversation with me. And I'm just saying, yeah, man, hey, happy birthday, bro. I hope you get to enjoy your day, man. Do something for yourself. He's like, yeah, man, I may get up with some buddies here a little bit later, maybe throw a little party. I was like, man, yeah, have some fun, bro. Another year of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Another year around the sun. And I'm saying little things like that to him. And he's just like, damn, man. He's like, I never really thought about that. He said this a few times throughout our interaction. And he's like, bro, I didn't even realize like how far I've come. And he said it again. I was like, yeah, bro. I was like, a lot of us overlook that. A lot of us don't realize the progress that we have made in our lives. You know what I mean? And this is the type of like connection that I'm having with this kid. You know what I'm saying? I'm calling him a kid just because he's 24. I'm in my 40s. So it was a great little moment. And just the information he was giving my son, and I could tell my son was taking a liking to him too. We talked for like maybe like 30 minutes. And it was just me, my son, and him. Nobody else at this skate park. And like I said, the weather was nice. It was just a moment. And this may sound cliche, it may sound corny. I don't really care. But it was almost a moment where like, how I describe it is like, it was like 2 angels talking to each other, like just how our energy was vibrating, the frequency we were on. And I mean angels in the sense of it was like 2 angels talking about their human experience in a way. But yeah, man, you've been going through that. Man, I know what it's like, and just catching up on our journeys in that moment, and the discussion I had with him, just this moment, it was like one of them really high vibrational type of interactions, if that makes any sense. Like when you leave the interaction, you almost feel better about yourself. You're almost like, wow, I'm glad I interacted with that person. So at one point, after we talked, like I said, we talked for like 30 minutes. And he was getting ready to walk up to another section, and he's like, "Man, y'all take it easy, man. Like, anytime I see you around here, man, I'll say what's up." And he's walking, and it's crazy as he's walking up these stairs. It reminded me of a scene from like the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix when he's walking up those stairs. And my son's like, Dad, get his phone number. And I'm just kind of looking at my son like, I'm about to do all that, but but I looked at the cat walking up the stairs. I was like, man, you're a cool dude. Let me just. So I hit him up. I called his name. I was like, hey, bro. I was like, let me grab your number real quick. And well, it's funny because my son was like, Dad, get his number. He's like, I like him. And that's cool because your kid doesn't always say that. Kids don't always take a liking to just everybody and feel like they got something from an individual too. So I grabbed his number, man, and it was just one of those great interactions. And the reason that I wanted to share this story is I want to talk about why being self-aware it really makes every interaction hit different. Because there was a lot of self-awareness within this interaction with this cat. Before I keep going, I just want to take a moment, man. If you're into self-mastery, emotional mastery, understanding yourself a bit better so that you can get off of autopilot and start responding to life in a way that feels more authentic to you, feels like you're more in integrity, like you have more control over your responses and you're not just being pulled, lose your stuff, cuss people out, and just get off of autopilot. If that sounds like something you're into, then book a one-on-one call with me, okay? The link is in the description. All right, let's get back into it. I'm noticing that, in life, there's a lot that can be taken from small moments like that. You can go to a grocery store and have a conversation with the cashier, or you could just bump into somebody. And I'm talking about with strangers too. You can just bump into somebody and spark conversation. Now, I know somebody may be watching this video and be like, that is not my vibe. I ain't talking to strangers. I don't do none of that. That's cool. That's cool if that's not your thing. I'm more of kind of like, I got some social game to me. I like to be to myself sometimes too. But if I'm out and say if I see somebody with a certain T-shirt on that kind of hits something in me, a little nostalgia, I'm gonna say something about the shirt. I'm gonna say, yo, that's a dope shirt, and then that naturally just brings me into a conversation. And I'm kind of, I work in the customer service industry, so I do this all the time. But to get back to the point of why, I wanted to make this video and I wanted to share this story again, man. There's so much meaning and so much essence and so much you can take from just small interactions. And when I say being self-aware, I mean being present, being aware of yourself, being in the present moment with yourself and with the individual that you're engaging with. When you can do this, man, it can really deepen your connections. It can really make something that's so, like, something you would look at as like a throwaway conversation. Nah, it ain't no throwaway conversation. It's one of them conversations where it's like, man, I feel like I impacted his life. I feel like he impacted my life and my son's life to a degree, just based off of his energy and how he carries himself. That's why being self-aware, emotionally intelligent, these things are so important because, like I said, they can just turn the smallest of moments into the most impactful moments and just have you leave in a conversation feeling so much better about yourself, so much better about your day, having that natural dopamine um, that you take off into the next chapter of your day. I'm not gonna, get into the whole story, but this same thing it happens to me often. But it happened to me the other day too when I went to the Dollar General and they had remodeled in there, and I was talking to the cashier in there about the remodel. I was like, how you like it? I'm at the cashier checking it out. I'm like, how you like it? She's like, oh, I love it. I love the new floors, and I'm getting used to where everything is. And we're just making small talk. And as I was leaving, I was like, all right, you have a good day, man. She was like, you too. You come back now. And when she said that you come back now, that's another example of the connection that can be made within just a few minutes. By being self-aware, being able to listen, being able to tune into other people, it can make those connections deeper. Because when she said come back now, that resonated with me. It wasn't just like a, hey, take care, ma'am. You too. It wasn't like, it was like, You take care and you come on back, meaning like you bring your energy back here. And honestly, I live really, really close to the Dollar General. So I go there all the time. But it was like, yo, you bring your energy back. You come on back here with those good vibes. And that's what I mean when I say, being self-aware makes every interaction hit different. And if you're an individual like me, that matters to you. I look at life in a sense of we're all so bogged down and so stimulated by politics, social media, the stuff that we have going on in our day-to-day lives, man. We all still got regular ass things going on, right? So the combination of all that stuff, man, we lose sight of the importance of a connection, of just having a conversation with somebody, just listening to somebody, just hearing what they got going on in their life. Some of us are so bombarded with what we have going on in our lives that we can't even hear anybody else. We can't even hear outside of ourselves. Our voice in here is so loud. It's almost like you don't even give a damn about what nobody else got going on. And I think that really creates a lot of disconnect throughout the world. A lot of people angry, a lot of people disconnected. Like I said, a lot of people just frustrated, feeling invisible, feeling like no one cares about them. And these types of moments are what make people, or what can make people feel like people care about them. It's just being in tune in that moment, giving somebody some presence, giving somebody your presence, giving somebody your attention in that moment, listening, asking like real questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, how long you been in the North Carolina area? You know what I mean? Or where are you originally from? That sparked something in somebody. Like, damn, this person really like is asking me like a deep question. They're like, where I started at. And I think when you can really tap into deepening connections with people, just in your everyday, day to day, it's not only going to make you feel better, it's going to make that person feel better. But I think it may sound crazy, that bleeds over into the world. Like it carries over. You'll you can make that person feel good about themselves or make that person feel seen and heard, and they take that same energy and go to their family and they're feeling good and they're in a better mood interacting with their children. They're in a better mood interacting with their partner. And it all started from having a conversation at a skate park or in a Dollar General, if that makes any sense. Let me know if that makes sense, y'all. Y'all leave me some comments. Let me know if you've had any interactions like this too, where they've left you feeling that sense of like just lit up, like almost grateful that you had that interaction with that person. And it didn't even have to be anything that big. Let me know if you've experienced that before. But yeah, like I said, man, I ain't gonna make this video too lengthy. Just wanted to talk about the power of being present, the power of being self-aware, how it can really deepen our connections, and how that experience of having a deepened connection can carry over into every moment of your day, of your week, of your months. The more that you have these, you know what I'm saying? It'll snap you out of that stone faced, I'm mad, I got a bunch of shit on my mind. Yeah, we all gonna have stuff on our minds. You know what I mean? But this is one way that you can naturally, organically start to work on the quality of your day, the quality of your moment. Be more approachable, listen a little bit more, ask better questions. This is going to deepen your connections better and ultimately make you feel better and that person that you're connecting with feel better and ultimately make the whole world a better place. All right. So I know, like I said, this might sound cliche, but I hope that this hits somebody. If this video provided you with any value, please smash the like button. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you check out this video right here. YouTube thinks that you'll enjoy this one. Okay. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.